There's a silent belief that's been haunting sensitive people for generations. It sounds like this: you're too emotional. You're too much. You feel too deeply. Maybe you've heard it. Maybe you've believed it. But what if I told you that everything you've been told is wrong? What if the reason you feel so much isn't because you're broken, but because you're powerful? In this video, we're going to explore something that might just flip your entire perspective on being sensitive. We're diving deep into a forgotten truth, one that thinkers like Carl Jung hinted at in his work on the shadow and the collective unconscious. Sensitivity is not a flaw. It's a signal that you're tuned into something most people are disconnected from. It's not weakness, it's perception. The kind that allows you to sense what's unspoken, to feel what others hide, and to carry what hasn't yet been healed. But because the world doesn't understand this kind of power, it often tries to pathologize it, to shame it, to shrink it. That stops here. And here's the twist. The part of you that feels too much might be the part of you that holds the most wisdom, not just for yourself, but for the entire world. We'll explore why society misunderstands sensitive people, what Jung revealed about the power of emotion, and how to finally stop carrying what was never yours to begin with. From childhood, we're taught to toughen up, to stop crying, to stop feeling so much. And if you didn't follow those rules, you were likely labeled dramatic, weak, overreactive. But here's the truth. Sensitivity has never been the problem. The problem is how the world treats it. We live in a culture that rewards numbness and punishes emotional awareness. But just because most people are disconnected from their inner world doesn't mean that your connection is wrong. It means it's rare. Imagine being the only one in a dark room with a flashlight. Everyone else stumbles and tells you to turn it off because the light makes them uncomfortable. That's what it's like to be sensitive in an insensitive world. But here's what they won't tell you. That light you carry, it's needed, it's necessary. The world doesn't heal through avoidance, it heals through feeling. And that begins with people like you. So if you've ever been shamed for feeling too much, know this: you weren't feeling too much. You were just feeling what others refuse to. That doesn't make you weak, it makes you honest. Carl Jung once said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." This is the heart of shadow work, the idea that we all carry unacknowledged parts of ourselves in the unconscious, the anger, the shame, the fear, but also the genius, the beauty, the sacred. And empaths, those who feel deeply, are often the ones who naturally tune into this shadow. Not just their own, but the collective shadow of family, culture, even history. Jung believed in archetypes, deep psychological patterns that live in all of us. The hero, the mother, the rebel, the orphan. And one of these is the wounded healer, the one who transforms suffering into wisdom. That's you. Empaths often carry ancestral pain, generational silence, and even societal guilt. And because the unconscious doesn't respect personal boundaries, what you're feeling may not even originate from your own life. It seeps in through emotion, through dreams, through body memory. But that's not a curse. It's a calling. You're being asked to become aware, not to drown in what you feel, but to bring light to what others ignore. You're not emotionally unstable. You're psychically awake. And awakening is not clean. It's messy, but it's real. Let's talk about your so-called weakness, your emotions. When integrated, emotion becomes one of the most advanced forms of intelligence on this planet. Sensitivity allows you to notice the tiniest shifts in tone, expression, energy. You can walk into a room and feel something's off before anyone says a word. That's not paranoia. That's emotional radar. When you cry for something others brush off, it's because your soul recognizes significance. You pick up on what's not said, what's buried, what's aching to be seen. And in a world full of people performing normalcy while suppressing reality, that is an enormous gift. Think of sensitivity as a superpower for truth. It bypasses surface-level interactions and connects to the root, the core of what matters. But only when you stop turning that gift against yourself. The moment you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to show me?" everything changes. You are not weak for crying. You are strong for not turning away. You are not broken. You're just brave enough to feel in a world that forgot how. Here's where the real shift begins. Sensitive people often absorb the energy of others like a sponge. We confuse understanding with absorbing. We believe that to help someone, we need to carry their pain. But empathy without boundaries is self-destruction. There is a difference between compassion and fusion. You're allowed to witness someone's grief without making it yours. You're allowed to feel deeply without drowning. You do not need to bleed to prove that you care. Carl Jung taught that the unconscious speaks in symbols, in dreams, in sensation. If your chest is heavy, your body might be echoing a collective emotion. But awareness gives you a choice to witness, to feel, and to release. You are not here to hold everything. Your gift is not absorption, it's transformation. But only if you stop confusing responsibility with resonance. So let's come back to that question I asked at the very beginning. What if the emotions you carry were never yours to begin with? What if they were invitations, messages, echoes of a world that's still hurting, waiting for someone to notice? You were never broken. You were built to feel. Not because life is cruel, but because you were meant to remind others how to reconnect. You are the revolution, not by fixing others, but by feeling fully, witnessing clearly, and standing softly in your truth. You don't have to numb yourself to survive. You don't have to be hard to be strong. Strength is softness that has survived fire. So here's your invitation. Stop trying to heal everything. Start standing in your wholeness. Because when you do, you give others permission to do the same. And maybe that's the real medicine the world needs. If this spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who feels too much. Someone who's forgotten their own light. Because this isn't just a video, it's a remembering.